Hi, Karen. Happy first week of December, I guess it is.
Oh, slash last week of November.
It's
Hello.
true. Yeah, it's like the 28th or 29th, I guess. Whatever Monday is.
The 28th. Yes. And so, listeners, we are recording this before Thanksgiving. So, no spoilers. We don't know what's going to happen on Thanksgiving.
We do not. It is November 21st when we're recording this, the Monday before Thanksgiving. And I gotta say, I'm so excited to have an abbreviated week, Karen. Like, so excited.
No. I know it is a blessing. And you were just like, I'm so happy you have 5 days off. And I was like, no, I don't. Oh, wait. Wednesday, Thursday. I do. Oh my God, I do.
It's the best. It really is. I do feel a little bit like an ember right now. Like you're a match and then you get burned and then you're just dust. And I think that I usually feel that way around this time of year. I really do. And not maybe in a negative way, just like in a way like, I need to just not be thinking about work all the time, going at 100 miles an hour all the time. Like, I don't know. It just this time of year, I'm always kind of like it's a screeching halt to come to Thanksgiving, and it's a welcome reprieve for me.
Absolutely. I 1000% hear that. And I know we've talked about this. I also feel like this time of year to me is like 5 minutes before the bell when you're getting out of class on the last day.
Yes.
Like people who are trying to start projects now, I'm like looking at the clock like, no, dude, we got 5 minutes. What are you doing? Why are you rolling out 12 hours of training that we have to finish? Like legitimately, we have this, I don't know all of the details, but there's like this 12 hours of management training at work that we have
What?
to finish by the end of the year. Right. And
Wait,
it's just like,
no,
wait,
seriously?
what?
Like it's 12 hours of videos? Who's gonna watch
Or
that shit?
it's not videos, it's managed, it's some kind of training. I think it's like, obviously it's Zoom, we're all remote, but it's 12 hours of it though. And so we could vote on how we wanted to break it up, but we have like 6 hours of training next Tuesday. And I'm like, no, hi, you guys,
Oh
the bell's
my
about to
God.
ring. What are you doing? What are you
Seriously,
doing?
I'm checked out already. So total senioritis for 2022. Like it's like I think it
Yes.
also is probably just a natural thing. It's like we talk about how we're also part of nature and like nature is getting quiet right now and it needs rest. And it's like we can't be in a growing season all year long forever and ever and never take a break. We're just going to crack. And it's like yeah, I that was louder than I really anticipated it to be, but that's that's kind of how I feel.
We're fat bears right now. We are fat pre-hibernation bears, and
Yes,
everybody needs to calm down.
totally. And we just need to get fatter and then just
Yeah.
like continue with the fat on top of fat and then just chill. Just
Yeah.
chill.
So, I know the theme for this episode. How are we doing so far with the theme? Are we doing all right? How are we doing?
I don't think I'm remembering the theme from 6 seconds ago. Shit. Hold on.
Keeping it light.
Yes, keeping it light. Yes.
We're
Okay.
keeping it light.
Totally. Yeah, I was gonna go dark with that bear metaphor, but I'm glad we're gonna cutting it off early because we're keeping it light.
Ooh.
Listeners, remember or not remember, what am I saying? Yeah, that's it. Keeping it light. I have nothing else to add.
Oh my God. We just again, those of you who flatter us by thinking that we plan these out in advance and
Oh,
have
yeah.
this calendar and all these themes and do takes. Like we decided literally about 2 minutes, not even two.
No. No. It was 20 seconds ago to yeah, I mean, I do think I do actually like the topic of keeping it light. I think that like this actually reminds me of something that happened last week. So something that happened last week, I have been in kind of a shitstorm of work stuff, which I don't really want to get into too much on the pod, but like things have been not so light lately. And I know I talk about my what is it? My singing lessons, and my singing teacher, she does this thing where once a month or once a quarter, I don't know, I've never been to one until Thursday, she rents out a portion of a bar, she hires a rock band. Have I told you about this? I don't know if I've told you about this.
Oh my God. I don't know if you've said it on the pod. I know
Okay.
you've told me.
Yes. Okay. So I don't think I tell. You're right. So I haven't talked about it in the pod. She rents out the corner of this bar. She hires a rock band without a lead singer, hands out a bunch of lyrics to like normal songs, like Lizzo songs and like Elton John songs, Billy Joel, whatever. And then every like the band is so loud that everyone sings along, and like you buy a ticket for $18 and then everyone sings along, and then you don't feel like self-conscious. And so
Oh,
in the middle of this shitstorm that has been my work life lately, Tyler and I go to this thing, and she calls it the public rock choir, and we sing our hearts out, and it was so much fun. And I ended up
oh.
meeting these other two women there, and I was like, I walked up to them and I'm like, hi, I don't know anyone, who are you? And they were like, oh my god, we were just wondering if other people don't know people. And I was like, this is perfect. So then they stood next to Tyler and I, and then like I'm singing slash thinking, how do I become friends with these two women in not a weird way? Because like like I have no idea how to like, do I just introduce myself? Like I've already introduced myself, but I don't really want to talk about what we do for a living. Like I want it to be just like, let's hang out sometime. Like I don't know, is that a creepy thing to do? So instead, I walked up to them and I was like, hi, like, it's so fun singing with you guys. Like, are you on Instagram? Like, would you want to follow each other? I felt like I was
Ooh.
very Gen Z in that moment. And they
Yes.
were like, oh, definitely. And so then we followed each other, and then we've already exchanged phone numbers, and we're going to go out for coffee.
Katie, I love this.
Keeping it
You're
light.
making friends
I'm
as an
trying.
adult.
I'm trying to make friends. Okay, here's the thing. I think my door's open. I think my energy is open, Karen, because
Yep.
yesterday I went to the pool to go swim laps, and this woman next, I mean, you can't tell anyone in the lanes, whatever. You just get in and then you just swim, and then you really don't, nobody talks to each other. Like it's just whatever. And so there's this one moment where everyone has to be very respectful. You go in like a circle in the lane line, or in your lane, I guess. And so it's me and this woman, and she is like super fit,
Oh.
like Iron Man triathlete fit, except that she doesn't swim like super super fast. She swims at like my speed, which is kind of turtle slow. And so it's perfect. We're like, swimming in the circle, everything's great. And then there's this moment where she stops, and I'm about to hit her, and I was like, oh, and I like come up, and she's like, I'm sorry, like I didn't mean to, like, you can go ahead of me. And I was like, no, no, it's fine. And it was this kind of awkward moment, and she like made a joke. We ended up talking for 10 minutes. I
Wait,
now
what?
have I now have her name's Christina. She's great. We're going snowshoeing this weekend.
Oh
And
my
so
God. Katie.
I'm so excited about it. I really am. So I don't know. I mean, I think I'm just trying so hard. And I'm like, I said the same thing. I was like, so are you on Instagram? I don't know why Instagram is less invasive than, can you give me your number? I don't know. There's
Yeah.
something, I don't know. Why is that less invasive? Anyway, it's my new tactic. So it's worked 3 times. We'll see.
Wait, three. Oh,
Well,
so the
3.
two.
So the 2 at the sing thing, and then the one swimmer. So we'll see. I don't
Oh
know.
my gosh, Katie, I love this for you. Okay, you were teaching like a master class in how to make friends as an adult post pandemic. We're all awkward as hell. We're still kind of not leaving our homes. This is great.
Super awkward. Thank you for saying that. I think I might have blown my wad. Hopefully not. But like, I'm the kind of person, when you meet me, it's like, here's my entire life story, and here's every single thing that you should know about me, just right off the bat, so you don't think I'm weird, and there's not going to be any surprises. For example, I'm sitting there in the pool talking to Christina, with a CH, not K. My sister's name starts with a K. Anyway, too much detail. The
Mm.
point is that like I'm talking to her and I'm like, she is asking me why, like, what do I think of Ben? And just like in normal small talk.
Oh,
And I mention that like I moved here from San Francisco, and I basically say very bluntly that I'm super liberal, and that I said this to her verbatim, that I assume that everyone in Bend is also liberal. And then I look at her and I'm like, I don't mean to say that you're not liberal, or you are. And she just laughed and she moved on. And I was like, fuck. And so then I'm
oh God.
like, yeah, exactly. Maybe she's a Trump lover. Who knows? Can we be friends? Maybe. Maybe this is a test. She still wants to be
Ooh.
friends. I don't know. She gave me her phone number through Instagram.
Oh,
Oh God. So awkward.
I think Instagram feels less intrusive. It's both revealing and it's public, right? Like anybody really, unless you have a private account. I don't remember if you do or
No,
not.
I have a public account. Yeah.
Right. So it's open. Anybody could look at your Instagram account, right? If you have a public account and it is a very curated view of your life and who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's your number. You have to, I don't know. I guess your phone number feels more intrusive because you have to actually give it to somebody. It's not like you couldn't Google you and get your phone number.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you do have to give it to somebody. And with Instagram, like, actually, all of these three women that I, like, am trying to be friends with, all of them have private accounts. And so when
Oh,
I started following them, I had to have them, like, accept my request. But here's the thing: if I look, I mean, it's such this is me. I don't know. I'm not trying to be petty, but I kind of feel like it's really nice to at least know if the person you're trying to be pseudo friends with is a psychopath or not.
ooh.
And so it's like you look through their shit and then you can be like, oh, I'm busy, or like, I don't know, like, like, it's so nice to meet you. We'll have to hang out sometime, dot, dot, dot. But like,
Yeah.
yeah. But thankfully, all three women, well, one of them doesn't post very much, so we'll see. But like the other two seem great.
Oh my God. This is so funny. Okay. I can't wait to hear how this goes.
Thank you. I mean, it's this weekend. I'm like, is this too soon? Like, I mean, we're gonna go, and then I'm like, do we drive together to the place where we snowshoe? And I'm like, I can't handle that. I can't be in the car with two randos, like, with nothing to talk about. And I'm like, no, I just want to be able to talk about snow when we're out of the car.
Well, and who knows? Maybe you hit it off and you talk about a million things, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So fun.
True. Yes. So I am trying to keep it light in that way. I think it's a nice distraction from the fact that there are other parts of my life that are just like burning dumpster fires, but it's okay. I mean, when is that not true for, maybe some people are like, no, everything in my life is perfect. Thank you very much. And that's great. And I'm happy for you, genuinely.
All the time. So my version of your standing in the bar singing, I just realized,
Oh
was
yeah.
I yesterday went to see the Indigo Girls.
You did? Karen.
I did. I
Oh
know.
my
I've gone to
God.
so many shows this year. I mean, not, I know other people go to a lot more, but I think I'm at 10 now
Whoa, that's a
for the
ton.
year.
That's
Yes.
incredible. Oh my God, I'm so happy for you. Wait, what was the venue? Tell me everything.
So it was on Northwestern's campus, Northwestern University's
Oh, cool.
campus. Shout out to you, Betsy and Emily and Andrea. Hello, for organizing this. Betsy is Emily's wife, huge Indigo Girls fan for a very long time. Got us these tickets. We all got tickets, but it was interesting because that was the third time I've seen the Indigo Girls.
Oh,
And I'm not a huge Indigo Girls fan. Like, I know what everybody else knows.
yeah.
But there was something about being in this crowd of people. Like, if you are an Indigo Girls fan, like, it is in your DNA. And it's funny because they were talking, like, so I went with there were four of us total, and they were all talking about like how the Indigo Girls play this integral part in all of these different phases of their lives. And they're like, is that true for you too, Karen? I was like, no, not at all. However, Ani DeFranco, that is true for me.
Yes.
Like, I've seen Ani DeFranco probably more than 20 times in my life, like over the last 25 years. Like, I saw Ani recently too. Like, shout out to you, Lori Finelli. Thank you so much for taking me with you. So Lori is a photographer and writer for Rebellious Magazine, reviewed the show.
Amazing.
And I got to go with her, and we had so much fun. And I found out that she listens to the podcast. Right. Okay. This is very funny.
Hi, Lori.
Right. Okay. She's so funny. She was like, we haven't seen each other since the before times. I got like she was one of those people I got like very emotional when I saw her because I haven't seen her. And she was like, well, but secretly, I feel like I've seen you because I listen to the podcast and I feel like Katie and I are best friends.
We are. Lori, BFFs forever.
Yes.
Letter 4.
Obviously.
Number 4. Letter 4? What? You get it.
Yes.
Like the number. Okay.
Yeah. 4.
Yeah, I mean, I can't not be awkward, Karen. Like, that just doesn't work. I can't make friends in pretend life. Like, this is... Okay, Lori, excited to hopefully someday meet you.
Yes, Lori is lovely. Oh my God, just one of my favorite people on the planet. And so I saw Ani last night. I saw the Indigo Girls, and then of course they've switched it up. So literally for, I don't know, they've been together 40 years.
Wow.
Every single Indigo Girls show used to end with Closer to Fine.
Yeah, of course.
And now Like last night, they played it before the encore and they ended with Galileo.
Oh, okay. Well, that's still great.
Right. Which are literally the only two songs that I know. And Closer to Fine, I like when I took guitar lessons, we learned to play it. And so I love the chords of that song. And I actually know all the words to that song. Right. So
Yes.
like the gusto with which this crowd sang those songs, knowing they were the last songs, it was like really, it was really beautiful. The whole thing was beautiful, how much people love them. But yeah, that was really, I mean, just it was, people were so excited to be singing. It was
Oh
very
my
sweet.
God, it's so meaningful to people. Like it's
Oh my
so, I
God.
mean, tears, like just like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. It's just that is the magic of live music. Like to be able
Yes.
to give back to the artist too. I mean, I cannot imagine what is Emily and what is the other
Amy.
Amy. Yes, Emily and Amy, Indigo Girls. Like I wonder what it's like for them. I wonder if it I was just gonna say, I wonder if it ever gets old, but I bet that's not the case. Like, I'm sure that they can take breaks and whatever. It's like, I bet you that every time they hear people say that their music changed their life or it's like the soundtrack of their life, like, that's such a gift to humanity. I mean, they are a gift to humanity. Those two women are truly like, I listened to them on the Glennon Doyle podcast a couple weeks ago, or maybe it
Oh,
was like a month
right.
ago. Did you listen to them on that?
No, Betsy just sent us a link to it though.
Oh, it's great. Oh my gosh, it's so great. And like they talk about, I mean, they're not partners. A lot of people wonder if that's the case. No, they're married to other people, but like they have been, like you said, together for 40 years and they've been through a lot together. So it's fascinating. Yeah, they're
Oh my
very
gosh.
vulnerable about it on that show.
Yes, that's what Betsy was saying, that like they were really open about things that they're not usually open about
Hmm.
on that podcast.
Yes.
And yeah, it was a great experience. Oh, I know the other thing I was going to say. So this was in Evanston, which is the suburb just north of Chicago, where Northwestern's main campus is. And apparently they went to Whole Foods during the day.
What?
I don't know why. Yeah, no, Amy and Emily were at Whole Foods, ran into someone. They're like, yeah, we met this guy in Whole Foods. Hey, are you here? And we hear this guy go, I am. Hey. And they apparently had this whole conversation about what was in his cart and what he was having for dinner and the fact that he was excited that he was coming to their show. And I was just kept thinking, like, can you imagine running into the Indigo Girls at Whole Foods?
Oh my gosh. Okay, first off, I don't know if I would recognize them perfectly unless they were wearing outfits that made me think they were the Indigo Girls, which I don't know what that would even really entail. But like, if they just were talking behind me and then just broke out into Galileo for a few bars, I would turn around and be like, holy shit. Like, it would be like the equivalent of someone seeing one of their I mean, if Sarah McLachlan, I could see her. Oh God, that's my person. Like, if I saw her in public, I would, I don't know what I would do. I would probably turn to water and sink into the ground.
I mean, it's so funny.
I would be more awkward than I am right now. Like, that's like guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, that's amazing. I'm so glad you had fun. That's
it
fantastic.
was it was fun. And their opening act was really good. Garrison Starr was her name, and she was great. And she was very smart. She had us sing along with her last two songs,
Ooh.
which I feel like was a way to get the crowd engaged. She's the opener, and to be able to hear people singing her song back to her.
Oh, that's so nice.
I know, it was very smart. She was great.
Did people know her songs? Wait, Garrison, what's her last name?
Starr, I
Oh,
think.
I've never
Starr
heard
with
of
two
her.
R's. I'd never heard of her. She beautiful, beautiful voice, singer songwriter. Um, wait, what are my nicknames? I think I've been saying the doctor. The doctor in my life is very mad because so when I go to shows, I Marco Polo them.
Oh, that's
Some
so
songs, right?
nice. Yeah.
And what I Marco Polo last night was so this Garrison Starr, lovely woman from Memphis.
Okay.
She's blonde. She's just like a white lady singer songwriter.
Yeah.
From Memphis, moved to LA, and was talking about having this year of yes and saying yes to all of these things, and said yes to being on a Snoop Dogg cover album.
Oh.
And so she did a singer songwriter version of Gin and Juice last night. And
Wow.
I turned to my friend Andrea and I was like, I feel like I'm having a stroke right now. I'm I'm so confused about what's happening right now. So that is what I Marco Polo'd. And they're like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, yeah, I don't know how I'd feel about that experience either. Like that's just
That is I'm gonna sound like an old lady. That is a profane as hell song. Like but he says some shit in there that coming out of this lady's mouth. I mean, the crowd was like crying, laughing because it was like, because she was saying it like so earnestly with like completely no irony. It was just like, I'm going all in.
I mean, that's kind of funny.
It was great.
That's I mean,
And
not to
weird.
laugh at her, but yeah, it does sound weird. Wow. I mean, it's actually on theme of keeping it light a little bit.
For sure. For sure. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have been in this exploration of laughing more with Tyler lately. Not that we don't laugh, but like it's just like every day, like day in, day out, we have shit, like we like talk about stuff, bills, whatever, taxes, it doesn't matter. But anyway, the point is, it does matter, but it's like it's not always funny. Like life is not always funny. And so the thing is that like we're trying to just like we actually honestly are trying to keep it light. Like things are just like yeah, we're trying like okay, I'll give an example. I'm not sure if he's going to be okay with me saying this, but it's okay because I don't think he's listening to this episode. So, he has this thing where it's kind of amazing because it doesn't happen anymore, but he used to be pretty territorial of the kitchen. He loves to cook. He's very good at it. I'm horrible at it and I hate it. And so like he's very territorial, and by territorial I mean like when he's cooking something, he doesn't want anyone in the kitchen like at all. And it's kind of annoying because if I need to like get a drink of water or like use a utensil or whatever, he'll get like a little irritable. Used to. This is actually past tense. But anyway, so we're telling our marriage therapist about this, and she was like, "Well, why don't you just keep it light?" We were like, "Really? How do you keep it? How do you keep that light? Like that's just annoying. I'm mad. He's mad. Like this is just not fun."
Right.
And she's like, "Well, let's discuss where this comes from." And he's like, "Well," and he really like in the moment. So this is actually kind of vulnerable, but it's not super vulnerable. So I feel like it's okay for me to be saying these things. But anyway, so like he basically kind of got to the point where he realized that behavior was a learned behavior specifically from his mother, my mother-in-law.
Ooh.
Yeah. And that it's just like he was afraid as a kid to go into the kitchen because of her reactions to him. And so her name's Kay.
Wow.
And so our therapist is like, well, why don't you just joke around about it? And it's like, you're being kind of like Kay right now, like kind of like jokey. And I was like, that is so uncomfortable. I'm like, do you really think that's gonna work? Like,
right?
I mean, also, P.S. Tyler has to be on board with actually changing his behavior, which he was. Like, once he made the correlation between like how he felt as a kid and like he doesn't want to come across that way at all and whatever. So anyway, so we were tested like 6 days later, of course, when he's making something like it could have been less than 6 days. And he was kind of a little pissy about like me, being in the kitchen. And I made the comment. I like actually cracked a joke and I was like, yeah, this is just like what our therapist has said. Like, you're kind of like Kate. And he kind of laughed and he was like, you're right. And it worked, Karen. It actually worked to the point where like he not only was self-reflective, he actually changed his behavior. And now like we're kind of joking about it. I mean, I'm not saying this is like a foolproof plan, but like, this is just an example of things don't have to be so fucking serious all the time,
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. I don't know.
I could not love that more.
Really? Do you think it's okay that he's a sacrificial lamb for the purpose of this podcast? Like
I mean, eventually, right? Like, I feel like the people in our lives have been fortunate to this point to not be material for this podcast more than they have been.
So true. Everyone listening, count yourself lucky.
Like, just wait. Oh, just wait.
Just wait. But yes, keeping it light is helping. It really is. And like making an effort to just like find the humor in things, even if they like really have never been funny before. Like,
ooh.
I don't know. It's like there's a different way of thinking about stuff. Like things don't have to be only one way.
I also appreciate that you were able to make it light consensually. Like he is consenting to keeping it light after he processed it.
True.
like he was able to get to a point where he was able to make light of it, like where it becomes funny or it becomes like it takes the weight and the heft and the emotional fraughtness out of it. But you can't joke about something before you get there, I feel like.
That is such a good distinction. Thank you for bringing that up. I completely agree. You cannot, like, it doesn't work. I think that goes into the category of sarcasm sometimes. And I have a super hard time with sarcasm. Like, I did not grow up with sarcasm at all, like zero. And so, like, I think it's kind of a similar thing where it's like, if you're both in on the joke, then it's funny. You can be sarcastic and it's funny and you know that you're not being attacked. But if you're not both in on the joke and someone is sarcastic, like toward you or against you or however you want to classify it, it can be super hurtful. Like it's like, and so that's the similar thing. Like I love the idea, like what you're identifying as consent is true. Like it has to be there for it to be light, I think.
Yes. And I think people, I mean, this is your life partner, right? Like you're going to go through this process together. I think the other thing about sarcasm and about teasing and about all of these things is that people don't always check in. Like you can have decided that something is funny and that you're going to make light of it. And people don't always check with the person that they're making fun of, making light. Like you can't make light about somebody else's shit without making sure it's okay that you're doing it.
You're so right.
Like how often I just am thinking of examples of people like over and over again joking about this thing. And I just think like, do you know that that person is okay with you doing that?
Right.
Like,
and asking them, that's like,
right.
That's actually super kind. Being like, like we talk about this all the time. Like, you cool with that or something like that? Like, are you okay?
Right.
Like, and creating a safe enough space for them to say what they really mean. If they're like, yeah, this is hilarious, like great. Like, but then if it's not, yeah.
Right. If their response is, you guys have a good time with it, so it's fine.
Oh gosh, that's so sad. That means it needs to end right away.
Yeah, you gotta cut it off.
You're right.
Yeah.
This is a really good point because it's just like, yeah, keeping things light and you thinking things are all okay, especially in like a group setting, and then you're not sure if they're actually okay. And the thing is that like at least in my experience, I know if I'm not sure if they're okay. Like I like there's a feeling when everybody's on the same page and it's like really funny and everyone's laughing and like it's genuine versus like you make a joke and then you're like, oh shit. Did that land? Probably not.
Right. Is that person okay? I think that.
Yeah. So yeah, but keeping it light as long as there's consent. And then also I think for me, like even just alone, not in relationship, keeping things light is so important. I mean, you talk about like YouTube videos and like, like I've like often that will help me. Like just I'll put on Colbert when he's not talking about Trump and like I'll laugh and that's helpful. Just keep it light. It's okay to get distracted by things in a good way.
Yes. And I feel like I find myself reframing things a lot right now.
Ooh, love
the
that.
Holidays are stressful. Yes. Like, I mean, gratitude is a big part of it, but like, how lucky am I that I get to do these things rather than like, oh my God, I have to do this. Like, how fortunate am I that I get to do this thing, that this thing is a part of my duties in life as a family member or whatever. Like, I'm going into the holidays really trying to think about like, I'm really lucky for some of these things.
It's true. It's like a perspective shift because it's like a lot of people don't have whatever, not to say that your issues or problems or concerns are diminished in any way. And yet thinking like, oh, like this is so amazing to have this gratitude for things that like might not always feel 100%. You might not always feel 100% like positive about, but like there's a different side to that coin, I guess. You can look at it differently.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah, I love like the idea of keeping it light and like being around people who are like jokey too. Like I just or just being that person that's jokey. I don't know, like
or fun. Like I feel like you're such a fun person.
Oh gosh, Karen, I feel the same about you. Are you kidding me? That's why this podcast is such a fucking blast.
Right? Yes. Like So I'm just thinking about it, bringing it full circle with your new friends.
Oh yeah.
What I am hoping for you is that they are fun people. And it seems like they are in the context that you met them.
Yes.
I'm hoping that they are fun for you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I have a test for them actually. So like this is kind of it's kind of weird for me to say this on the pod because it hasn't yet to happen, but there is so I'm going to test if they're fun or not. Like not to like
Oh my
I mean,
God.
that's actually really mean. That's not what I mean. If they say no to this invitation, it's okay, but I kind of want to find friends that will say yes. So here's the thing. So there is this traveling sauna. I know everyone calls it a sauna. My family always has called it a sauna because sauna is a pronunciation in Finland and I'm from my family's from there. Who cares? So that's why I say sauna. But anyway, it's just that's what it is to me. So anyway, so this, those dry sauna like things that you sit in there and you bake. So I love them.
Yes.
I think they're so fantastic. There's one at my gym. I love it, love it, love it. I go there after I swim. Anyway, and so there is this one that has been on Instagram targeting me like crazy, and it's in Bend, and it's a sauna on wheels, and it's like really high end, like it's beautiful. And so what they've done is they've created these experiences that you can sign up for where they will park next to the Deschutes River. So the river comes straight from Mount Hood. So we're talking like glacial water, like freezing water. And so the idea is to cold plunge, like, like get in the water and you're shaking your head.
Oh my God.
I know this is a hard test.
If I lived in Bench, we would not be friends.
Oh, that's so fair. You're like, I would be turning this down. So here's the thing. So the cold plunge. So like you plunge in the water, you get in the water. I'm not going under my head under. No way. But like I'm not a masochist, but like I go up to my neck and then you like are freezing and then you run into the sauna, get super, super hot and then go back and forth, back and forth. It's supposed to be like so amazing for cardiovascular health and amazing for your cells and like all of this stuff. It's like this whole thing that like whatever. So anyway, so I tell Tyler about this because he does like saunas and he has talked about cold plunging. I've done it one time in my life and it's maybe twice, but anyway, which is like nothing. But anyway, so I tell him about it and he's like, I was like, I think I want to do this sauna thing. Like, would you want me to sign you up also? And he was like, I'll have to think about it. Like, he was like, not. I was like, we've talked about this. You like this, whatever. So anyway, long story short, I look on their website. They have no like individual tickets. Like, there's not an option for it. So the only way to do it, because I think they're just filling up because it's becoming so popular, is to rent out the sauna for an hour, and it fits 8 people. So here's like jumping to the end. In 2 weeks, I am renting the sauna. I've already done it. I rented the sauna for 8 people and I was so excited about this. It's at 5 p.m. on like a Thursday night, which is perfect. It's going to be fucking freezing outside. Like this weekend, it was like 17 degrees. Anyway, the point is I come home after I'm booking this thing out and about. And I was like, Tyler, this is great. Like this night, I'm going to get this sauna and we're going to go. And he was like, well, I'm going to be out of town at a business trip. And I was like, oh shit. And so I try to change the date, doesn't work. They're totally booked out. And I was like, perfect. I'm going to manifest the shit out of this. I'm like, I'm going to find 7 other women who are willing to do a cold plunge and a sauna. And then I booked a dinner reservation at like the hottest Thai restaurant in town immediately afterward.
Oh my gosh.
So, I mean, I'm not paying for all of this. They're all going to have to pay their own way. But the thing is that I have yet to invite all of these women, but all of the ones who I'm meeting right now are going to be part of the initial invitation. Fingers crossed.
Oh my God.
I think I have super high hopes about this. Does this make me sound psychotic? Maybe.
Like no.
I mean, it's funny because both of my parents were like, yeah, hard pass. Like they were both like, we would never do this. Like not together. They said individually, they were like, no. My mom's like, I'd take pictures of you. And I was like,
yep,
thanks.
I think you don't sound psychotic. It's amazing.
Is it? I don't know.
I love that you're manifesting it. I feel like Ginger Buddha is probably booking her plane ticket right now.
Oh my God, Tori, please come. That would be so wonderful.
Oh my gosh. This is so up Tori's alley. And I think you just got to find some other Scandinavian blooded people, right? Like what you're describing is like, I sometimes get YouTube sometimes serves me videos from the coldest village on earth, or the northernmost village, or the like, oh, this is my Norwegian winter. And like, this is what they fucking do all the time. So
You're totally right. I need some Swedes.
that, yes, like I feel like equatorial climate people are probably not, you're going to be your people on this.
It's not my
But
target
yes.
demo.
Danes, Swedes, Norwegians, Finns,
You're
people
right.
from Iceland, whatever you call them,
Yes.
Greenland.
I'll try to find some Greenland people. What do you call what do you call people from Greenland? Please write it. Sorry, if you're from Greenland listening, Icelandic, I guess, is if you're from
Greenlander?
Greenlandic?
Greenlandic. What?
Okay.
Oh, no.
Seriously, there has been no pot that has been consumed in the making of this podcast. Shocking.
Y'all. Oh my God.
I'm looking that up.
Yeah, no, obviously put it in the show notes.
Yes.
We need to understand.
All right.
I can't wait to hear about how this goes. Yes, we're keeping it light.
Yes. Oh, thank you for being my moral support in my manifestation process, Karen. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, I want this for you. The Thai food, I feel like you've got a whole experience plan. This is like a really comprehensive experience.
Yeah, I mean, if someone invited me to do that, I would be like 100% yes. P.S. We're BFFs now. But we'll see. I don't know. I mean, if people don't want to, it's actually okay. I'm not going to hold it against them. Maybe we'll just do other things. But yeah, keeping it light. I love this topic, Karen. I really do. It's nice to just have a reprieve from whatever is not light in the world.
That we will not mention. There are a lot of heavy things that are in the news right now that just happened, and we're sending love and light to all of everyone.
Yes.
And we can't go there.
Nope.
So we're keeping it light.
Keeping it light. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next week.